Shalom, Pastor Hawk. I'm back at you once again, giving all praise to Yahweh, Shemal, Shabbat, Shalom, Kakwadah, Shalom, to the hopeful elect out there. Make this super quick. Anyway, I'm going to entitle this video, The Full Storehouse, or the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. This is from 2nd Ezra 6, verse 22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, shortages everywhere. The full storehouse. Now, what do you store in a storehouse? You store food and other things, and this includes weapons. Each major nation has a, how can you say, a storehouse? Let's use the word storehouse, or stock of weapons for future wars. So it says the full storehouse shall suddenly be found emptied. I said I was going to make this short. And this is from this video. You can watch it from the very beginning. It's 23 minutes long. But the whole video is pretty straightforward, you know. By the way, I'm going to entitle this video, Gog Magag will completely destroy Babylon. So I also added in as a subtitle, the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. So in this interview right here with Scott Ritter, you can go to Google and look him up. He's a military expert. Basically, every time they interview him since the war began back in February of last year. So we're going into the second year of this war, which will escalate to the Third World War. Anyway, anytime he's been on interviews, whether it be Redacted or any other, show that he goes on, and he doesn't go on regular TV because they're not going to let him on. He tells the truth. Basically, he says every time the U.S. is, brought up against Russia, he says, man, Russia's going, wipe the floor with them, with America. Russia's going to utterly destroy this place, whether it be a ground war, whether you have infantry and, a total ground war, or a war dealing with ICBM missiles. Either way, according to Scott Ritter, the former USSR totally, mollywop, beat the shit out of, totally destroy, dismantle the U.S. And we know how that's going to happen. It's going to be missile warfare, as we know. ICBM, Satan 1, Satan 2, the hypersonic missile, which cannot be detected by radar. Scriptures speak about how this is going to be, this destruction is going to come as a thief in the night. That's your hypersonic missiles. So, watch this video, and I'm going to bring out a bunch of scriptures, but one scripture came to mind. Oh, what he said in this interview, he said that they, donated so many missiles and so much money to Ukraine, but it's not so much money because they can always create money out of thin air, but actual, low cruise missiles, whatever, war gear, whatever missiles or whatever war weapons Ukraine possesses, they got it from the US and some of the NATO nations. Now they're to the point where if they was suddenly, if the US was suddenly got into this war, they would lose because they don't have the weaponry to stand up to the Russians. The Russians have been building weapons going back 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And if well, not if, but when, but if it happened tomorrow, if the US got involved, NATO got involved, the only thing they would do is make Russia mad, and Russia might just go all nuclear on them and pull out the ICBMs, the Russian equivalent of the ICBMs, and the hypersonic missile, and it'll be over. Like just like the scripture said, 1 hour, it'll be over. And that's exactly how this place is going to go out in fire. So it's not, according to this man, Scott Ritter. Like I said, go to Google and look him up. This man goes back. He's a former Marine. He came up in the ranks, and he was one of the guys that when they had the conflict with Iraq, he was one of the weapons inspectors. So he's been in this thing. We're talking from the 90s. We're talking like 30 years. So this guy's been involved in the U.S. military, and he's a high-ranking individual, but he's kind of like a renegade to America because it's like he sounded like he don't like America. He wants America to be destroyed. No, he's just telling the truth. He's just telling the truth. If you were to ask him, if they had a war today, Russia against the United States, who would win? He said Russia, without batting an eye. So just watch this whole video. But if you want to get right into the meat and potatoes, go right about to the 10-minute mark, 10-minute, 21-second mark. I couldn't even watch the rest of it. I got up to like this point here, and I said, I got to make a little video. So, just watch this video. And this man's not lying. He has no reason to lie. If he's an American, why would he say that Russia's going to win? Because he has inside information. He knows how many, let's say all in all, weapons for war America produces per year compared to Russia. And Russia is far beyond them. Russia can go for the next 10 years. What they're doing is trying to wear down Russia. You're not going to wear down Russia. You're not going to wear down Russia. The Ukraine is desperate. The only way they can have a chance is if they allow them to be a NATO nation, and then all the NATO countries gather together and go to war. Russia is still destroying. Russia is still destroying. Russia is built for war. They love war. The military men, there's no women fighting on the side of Russia. There's no women. It's just men. And they love to fight. They love to fight. They love to fight. They love to fight. They're battle tested. They're battle tested and war ready. Well, they're beyond ready because they're fighting a war. So ultimately, as we all know, you out there whose eyes are open, we already know what's going to happen. We're just getting a little teaser. We already know what's going to happen. In other words, we saw this movie already, so we're seeing the movie again. And so people are wondering what the end of the movie is going to be. We already know what the end of the movie is going to be. They're hoping that there could be a change. There's not going to be a change. We saw the movie. We're in the middle of the movie again. People are wondering what's going to happen. And we already know what's going to happen. And you know what I always say, before all that happens, they're gonna issue that Karagma, the MOTB, the CBDC, the Fed now, whatever you want to call it. Everybody's gonna be chipped. And once that happens, everything will be out of here inside of a few months. My estimation. But watch this video. Matter of fact, I'm gonna make a copy of this video. Anyway, with that, I'm gonna say shalom.